Taylor has participated in Brain Injury Awareness Day down on Capitol Hill. He speaks at local and state budget hearing committee meetings. He has also spoken at a public comment meeting at NIH, where the director of NIH, Dr. Zafrouni, encouraged him to never give up because of all of the progress that is being made in this area. Brain Injury Services, we just can't be prouder of Taylor and all of the strides he has made. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Taylor Warner.
Good evening. My name is Taylor Warner and I'm from Ashburn, Virginia. For 11 years I was like you. I could run, I could walk, and I could talk. I was all boy, as my mom often said. I played hard and loved being with my friends. But then, on July 2nd, 2002, my life changed and I lost my place in the world. The summer had just started. I had just finished a week of soccer camp and I was looking forward to my best friend coming to spend the week with me. That night, I went to bed and suffered a spontaneous bleed in my brain. It was like having multiple bilateral strokes at the age of 11. I was left with quadriplegic spasticity, arthria, legal blindness, and eventually, I developed scoliosis. Before my injury, in 5th grade, I made straight A's all year long. I called it my dream year. I received the President's Award for my grades and a letter from President George W. Bush. I was voted Citizen of the Year for my grade. I was an accomplished soccer player. I played center and defense on a championship football team in Ashburn. In an instant, my world was turned upside down. I was in the hospital for a total of 6 months. I remember everything about my life before and after my injury. Even while in a coma, I remember when the ventilator tubes were being put down my throat. People thought I was not aware, but I remember neighbors coming to visit me. One day a best friend came to the hospital to see me. When he left, I cried. Months later, I learned my parents thought I was crying that day because I was in pain. I told them no, I was crying because my friend was leaving me. My neurosurgeon said I had the locked-in syndrome. My brain was working, but I couldn't outwardly show that to people. Unfortunately, I had to learn how to do everything all over again. My injury caused me to be very weak. The spasticity causes my muscles to be very tight. That is why I move and talk differently. It's not because I want to, that's for sure. I would do anything to play football or soccer again. At first, I communicated with eye blinks. That was a day of celebration. 1 blink for yes, 2 blinks for no. I left the hospital with a feeding tube, a power chair for mobility, and a letterboard for communication. I was so weak I could not hold a pencil. I could not lift an ordinary fork or cup. Once I could eat regular food, I had to eat with plastic forks and drink from plastic cups. I had to be supported with pillows while sitting up. I could barely stand. Every stage of my recovery has involved a few extraordinary people. Brain Injury Services and its staff are among those few. They took the time to help me, so I can continue beating the odds. They motivated me to keep working to rebuild my body to walk, rebuild my ability to speak and swallow, and to have the strength to fight my visual disability. Today I can use ordinary forks and regular cups. I can now walk with a quad cane. I can join my family at the dining room table for meals, and I can write my name again. There have been other great challenges in my life after brain injury. My school experience in many ways was a living nightmare. I had to battle the school system for the proper accommodations. especially for my legal blindness and for my endurance factors. Also, I experienced much bittersweet isolation from my peers. It was great being with old friends again, but everything was so different. It was hard for me and hard for them. In school, I would see and be with my friends, but, of course, things were never the same. I was included in activities at school and even invited to the Stonebridge Varsity Football State Championship dinner. However, most weekends, holidays, and summer nights have been lonely. The isolation from friends, the legal blindness, the difficulty communicating, and the quadriplegic spasticity that I endure every day is painful in many ways. At least, God left me with my people-loving personality. None of my peers would even have acknowledged my existence if that wasn't the case. And I thank God that He left me with the ability to learn, so I could continue achieving good grades. I am proud to say I graduated from Stonebridge High School in 2010 as an honor student. Before my injury, my life was full of community supports. I had wonderful new schools to attend in Loudoun County, great soccer and football teams to be on, parks and libraries to go to, and fun activities to be involved in. I felt my community cared about young boys like me and my life. Not quite so after I became a brain injury survivor. There are few community supports for the brain injured. That's why I am so thankful that Brain Injury Services exists. Without their support, my family and I would have been in the dark. It will be 10 years this July since my injury. Brain Injury Services has been the only community agency that understands the challenges my family and I face. I know that Brain Injury Services and its wonderful staff, like Julianne, care about me. I am young and have my whole life ahead of me. They help me face my challenges and help me meet those challenges one step at a time. I know they value my life and they give me hope to keep looking for my place in the world. And hope, along with faith and laughter, are what keep me going. I tell my story to raise awareness of brain-injured survivors. I think the world needs to know certain things about brain-injured survivors. We need help. We need community supports. Since this happened, I often think of the golden rule I was taught when I was little. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I know how important that golden rule is, especially now. The world needs to know about brain-injured individuals and the struggles we face. They need to stop talking so much about Snooki, Lamar, the Kardashians, and other celebrities. The world needs to know brain-injured survivors can improve, but it can take a long time, and the world needs to do certain things for brain-injured survivors. We need more support in neuroscience research and better intensive therapy resources. Why can scientists create an artificial human heart but not help a brain